Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. So we have had a really busy week. I'm like bursting with news.
Yeah.
Okay, we had the election on Tuesday. Wednesday morning, 10 a.m., we had a swearing-in ceremony for the two new members, who are Matt Fee and Tobias Glidden. Then the board elected its officers for the coming year, which are Rick Atherton, Chair, Bobby DaCosta, Vice Chair. That was pretty much all they did. They will do county officers later. By charter, the county officers cannot be the same officers as the selectmen, so they're going to have to mix it up a bit. We then had our meeting Wednesday evening, and we had a couple of announcements. The Island Home has an annual memorial service. That is going to be held on Friday, April 26th this year. It'll be at 10:30 a.m. in the dining room of our Island Home. I always try to get there. It's a really nice, nice ceremony. And they have an art show, a Spring for the Arts show, every Thursday in April at 4 p.m. at the Island Home classroom. That's a nice thing to go to. I haven't been there yet, but hopefully I'll get there sometime. We also have a bunch of committee, board, and commission vacancies. It's all on the town website. If you're interested in serving in a volunteer capacity, go and check out all of the vacancies that we have. We are sending out notices this week to all the people whose terms are up. A lot of them will want to reapply. Some of them won't.
Can you give us some examples?
Concom, Finance Committee, Capital Program Committee. Trying to think of the big ones.
Why are there so many vacancies?
Well, every year there are terms that expire. The terms range from a year to 3 years, and so there's always somebody up on a committee. So all the info is online, so do check that out. It also will be in the newspaper. Okay, we also had some public comment. I made a note of something. We have had a lot of road closures going on in the downtown area lately because of the downtown sewer project, because of the underground parking garage thing that's going on Chestnut Street, and there's something else down here on North Water. So a lot of streets were closed this week, and I asked the DPW to make sure that on the main town website, this was in the DPW webpage, but it's a little buried. So if you are planning on coming downtown, you should check out the town website first to see about what the parking is going to be. But the sewer project shuts down on Fridays. So although I did notice this morning coming in, there wasn't very much parking around. So just be patient. It's almost over. The projects have to get done, and this is the time of year to do it. I don't think we want to do them in July.
So I have a question. So all this work that they're doing,
yes,
they're going to temporarily pave it and then come back to it?
That's correct. For the downtown sewer rehab project, it will span 2 seasons. So it will get closed up around mid-May. There will be a base course of paving done. And it'll look, if you don't know that much about paving, you probably won't even notice that it's the base course. And then next fall, we'll finish the rest of it. One of the big things that's going to happen next fall is Broad Street, right out here. This is going to be all torn up. So patience. Okay, under public comment, I should mention this. We also had some people come in about parking on Bartlett Farm Road in relation to the brewery. It wasn't really about that, but there is, how can I best put this, a situation developing, I don't know any other way to say it, whereby the parking on the side of that road where people park to go to the brewery will be eliminated, may be eliminated soon. In which case, where are all of those people who number sometimes in the, maybe not hundreds, but a lot, where are they going to park? They are not going to be able to park potentially on that side of the road. So there evidently was a concept that was sort of floated where one of the owners of Cisco Brewery, I hope I'm getting this right, and if I'm not, I'm sorry, but I think it's generally correct. One of the owners has a piece of property on Hummock Pond Road, and there was some discussion about whether or not that might be able to serve as parking for the brewery. The neighbors got wind of it and became quite upset, probably understandably so. Who really wants a parking lot in your backyard? Not very many people. So anyway, there's been some discussion about this, not at the Board of Selectmen level, though, at perhaps the planning and zoning levels, because that's where the permits, if needed, would come from. Anyway, some abutters came in and objected to this idea and wanted to just go on the record that they object to it. So,
so it's on the corner of that Hummock Pond Road?
You know,
Is it
I'm not
close enough to walk?
I think it's close.
Obviously?
Yes, it's close enough to walk.
It's not that
it's a
close.
bit of a walk. I mean, it's not right across the street.
Right.
So it's a bit of a walk. But I don't think it's overly far. It's not as far down as Somerset, where people can walk now if they're taking the shuttle, say. Now, the other thing that's happened is we have a petition from the brewery group for the county commissioners to take an additional portion of Bartlett Farm Road so that the layout, so that the paved portion of the road is expanded and there could be parking on the side of the road. So that petition is likely to potentially be brought up at the April 24th County Commissioners meeting. I do not know if the county, what kind of action they'll take. I imagine they are not going to act on it that night. They are going to want staff and other input, and they're going to want to understand procedurally what this all means and how the costs would be paid for, things like that. So I imagine there will be a bit of discussion on the 24th. By the way, it would be a huge meeting that night. But I don't believe they're going to take action. I could be wrong, but usually when things like this come up, they don't act immediately. They want to think about it a little bit, take it under advisement, and understand all the issues.
That portion that they would like to have widened,
Yes.
is that owned by Bartlett Farm, or is that town-owned?
That is owned by Bartlett Farm. That would be the reason for the taking.
So
would be
who would be taking?
The county commissioners,
Which
the government
pay
would be...
Bartlett Farm for their...
Well, that remain, there would be some level of damages. Sometimes it's $1. There's an appraisal that has to be done, and all, you know, it's a very specific statutory procedure.
Ah.
It's possible that there would be damage awards, yes.
Okay.
Don't know how much.
So who would pay that?
The county would have to pay that.
Simply so these guys can have a place to park for their brewery?
Yes.
So why don't they pay for it?
Or, I shouldn't say simply because of that. I think there's I'm trying to be very neutral and objective here.
No, I know, but I mean, it just makes sense that if they want the parking, they should pay for it.
I think there's potentially also a concern that the road is very narrow, and even without the parking, it's narrow, and there may be some safety concerns. There's also, I think, a proposal in the works. It might be in the petition, which I haven't read yet, to have a bike path down that road as well, and to take enough of the private land to allow for a bike path, which would be nice. I think there may be some discussion about whether or not the town should pay for a bike path, and I think there's some thinking that the brewery would contribute to that, and I think they're even offering that. But I'm just trying to be general about this because we haven't really seen the nitty-gritty details yet. So that's going to be coming up. Okay, we didn't have a very long meeting, and we just had some various, normal sorts of things. We heard from the Hunting Association about their plans, where they are with their shooting range project. They are involved in a lawsuit at the moment. So proceeding in any way with construction of their facility is at their own risk. And they asked for an extension of the commencement and completion of construction, which the board granted them. Let's see. Just other, not too many significant things, but we did have a really nice overview of a project that will be commencing, hopefully soon, the next year or two, of the jetties, repair of the east and west jetties. Now, this is a project that we talked about. It initially began to be discussed when we were talking about sewering Monomoy Shimo area, and there was some in a report somewhere. Again, I'm being very general. I'm not being overly specific, but there were some recommendations in a harbor study report. It may have been the Mass Estuaries project as it relates to Nantucket Harbor, that the jetties, as you can see, there's rocks missing. There's been damage over the years. There's been virtually no repairs done to the jetties. It's a federal project in a long time. I don't know, a very long time, decades. So there's some thinking that if they were raised up a little bit, that increases the circulation flow into the harbor and helps with harbor pollution issues, flushing and things like that. And if that were done, maybe in conjunction with some other things like the fertilizer use regulations and making sure that people who should be connected to sewers that are already available in the area are, and that they have proper pump outs of septic system and things like that, that we wouldn't necessarily need to sewer that area. So that was how the discussion came about initially about repairing the jetties. But also there have been some safety concerns. And anyway, to make a long story short, between Dave Franzuto, our emergency management coordinator, the Coast Guard, our 2 senators' offices, and we've spanned senators now, so Kerry and Brown and Warren and Cowan right now have all worked on this. Keating may also have worked on it, our congressman. And also Rosemary Blake here of our wastewater consultant, Woodard and Curran, and I'm probably missing some people. Sheila Lucy, our harbor master, has been a bit involved too. Between all of these people, and also Kara, our DPW director, Buzanowski, they have gotten us into the queue of federal funding like soon, in the next year or two. And it looks like that project is going to happen. This is, I can't even overemphasize how huge it is, because you don't get into, this is a $10 million project, the repair of these jetties. And this is, you don't just start in over the winter and then all of a sudden your project is funded. It's really remarkable how quickly this has gotten off the ground. So that we had a presentation about it, and we have a number of reports already about it. So if people want to see them, let us know. I think we're going to get some of that stuff on the website shortly if it's not already up there. The board also adopted the Nantucket Shellfish Management Plan, which is a plan that's been developed over the last year or so by a number of different groups. And the board will be appointing an implementation committee to review all of the recommendations and determine what implementation requires. Those were the main matters. Next week, it's public hearing Wednesday. We have a lot of public hearings next week. Mostly liquor related, where the board is accepting a $35,000 gift for the town's scholarship fund from the Nantucket Triathlon group. $35,000 is a lot of money for that scholarship fund. That's really nice.
Yeah.
We're accepting a resignation from the Capital Program Committee and appointing somebody else, I think. The Hen House is surrendering its liquor license, and there's another liquor license coming in that is getting a common victualler license, an entertainment license, and I guess that's it. So I'll just list off what the different establishments involved. The Galley has a change of manager. We have a okay, these are, I'm sorry, this is not, I'm mixing up the public hearings and the regular stuff. We have a telephone petition. We have a bulk propane underground storage license for property at 9 Arrowhead Drive and 2 Spearhead Road. That must be over that way. The Proprietors, the new restaurant that's replacing DeMarco's, is getting a common vic license. I mentioned about the Hen House. Easy Street Bar and Grill down here on the corner of Easy and Lower Broad is getting a new entertainment license, new common vic, and new liquor.
Is it going to remain the same?
It's going to be called Easy Street Bar and Grill. They have a new manager.
Okay.
And the liquor license is transferring from Joseph Arno to the new group.
Oh.
We have an entertainment license application for the Rotary, which is going to be called Lola Burger. Lola Burger's moving out to the Rotary.
Ooh.
And they have some liquor items as well.
Ooh.
We have, always a big draw, quarterly reports from the enterprise funds. Island Homes, Sewer, Solid Waste, and Airport. People love those reports.
Oh, gosh.
I can't wait. They are kind of interesting, believe it or not. And what else do we have? Those are the main things. Just a lot. Oh, I should mention this. The Shellfish Association, Nantucket Shellfish Association. Say that 5 times really fast. Report on Nantucket Bay Scallops branding and marketing efforts. I'm hearing that there are groups or a group out there or a vendor or something like this who is selling Nantucket Bay Scallops now. fresh. There's no such thing right now because scalloping season is obviously closed. You could sell frozen. I have had frozen Nantucket Bay scallops in the summer, which, by the way, you should always ask about that. If you see bay scallops on the menu, ask your wait person, what about these? See if they know. Anyway, someone's out there using our name for some other, probably kind of inferior scallops.
We're scallop guys? Is that kind of what we can expect? That we're the scallop guys now?
Yeah,
use the name.
I don't know what the marketing efforts are. I didn't read through the stuff yet.
I think that's what it's about.
Well, hey, we got to protect our own.
I know. Are they allowed to do that?
Who? The scallop?
Yeah,
people?
This new group.
I think so. Yeah, you can market and brand anything, can't you?
And just call it Nantucket this. Yesterday I was watching one of those infomercials on hot tubs. Oh, and they come in all different colors. Look at this one, Nantucket Gray.
Oh.
I'm not kidding you. It is so chic. Anything Nantucket.
I know. Well, what are we going to say to that? So we're going to get this interesting report
all right.
next week. And then we have a big meeting the week after. We got a lot of stuff going on. At some point, probably we're not going to have time for this till early May. I'm going to be going over with the board follow-up from town meeting and what types of things they want, of the things that were approved, what are our priorities going to be? What do they want to pursue right now? What do they want to put off? That kind of thing. So that'll probably be early May. And long weekend, Gino.
Yeah.
Oh, the marathon is next week.
Yes.
That's always quite exciting. I'm just looking through my calendar to see if there's anything else exciting. My e-newsletter came out at the end of last week, so if you aren't a subscriber, check it out on the town website. You can get to it pretty easily. Try to get current information on there and lots of links and photos and things. Oh, I know. 2 things. Okay. If you have been down Hummock Pond Road lately, you will notice that the sides of the bike path and the road have been newly seeded. And there is some tape, some of which has blown away. But please be respectful of the newly seeded areas. I saw a guy on a bike yesterday ride right through a newly seeded patch. Now there's a deep rut there.
Oh, that's terrible.
That, it doesn't grow properly after that. The tape is there for a reason, and I don't think you'd ride over grass like that in your own yard.
Right.
So try to be respectful and careful about that, and don't drive all over it, because that just requires someone to go back there and redo it, and it's not cheap to, so try to be aware. I saw your video about Cumbies.
Yep.
I forget what it was called.
Come on, Cumbies.
Come on, Cumbies. And it had to do with the fact that there are no recycling containers outside the door.
Yep.
I still haven't seen any.
No. We got to get that video to corporate, because they won't do anything unless corporate tells them to do it.
Yeah, them and some of the other, I will not name them right now, but some of the other large commercial vendors in the area really need to be a lot better at picking up trash in and around their properties. This is a constant complaint from people, and it comes back to the town. Why can't the town keep Sparks Ave, Pleasant Street, the Mid-Island area cleaner? And it really looks awful. And these commercial businesses need to take a lot more responsibility for it. So just putting that out there.
Yeah. And personal responsibility. People need to make sure.
That's right.
But if they don't have a place to recycle it, they throw it in there, they overfill, and it doesn't send a good message to the kids.
No, it does not send a good message to the kids. And there's a lot of kids in that.
Sure there is.
Cumbies.
And a lot of plastic.
A lot of plastic.
It's insane
a massive amount of plastic. I know. Okay. I guess that's is that about it? All right.
I think so.
Thanks very much. See you next time.